Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Yes, this is Pillar to Post. I am your host, the Angry Viking. And tonight was the night I've been waiting for since Monday night. Yes, we got NXT. We got more thrills. We got more impact. We got so much more from 1 hour of NXT than we did on Smackdown and on Raw. Now, you can, your opinion may differ than mine. I'm cool with that. You don't need to agree with everything I am thinking and my mouth is saying. I state my opinions. I'm very vocal about my feelings about the wrestling world and where it's going. And believe me, I have hope when I watch NXT. But before we get into the review, people are probably wondering, where is the Warrior Way title match today? Where is the Scourge title match at? Well, ran out of time, folks. Just ran out of time. And I do apologize. So, I'm making up for it. Tomorrow, we're going to actually have an RWO show. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not going to promise you nothing. But this is the match card. So, for the Warrior Way title, we are going to have Chance Nightwalker. I'm sorry about that. Phoenix Nightwalker challenging, yes, the pimp, the puppet of the puppeteer and the puppet master, Judgment, along with J.D. Bagwell, Ulrich Vancroft, because the Gold Dynasty wants to ensure that one of their men will get gold out of this match. And then, the champion, the man that walks the Warrior Way, the Bastard. Yes, that match will be the first match on the card. And you're wondering, well, shouldn't a title match be at the end of the show? We're doing it in exact reverse for this show. Why? Well, because I felt like it. And then, we're going to move on to our next match, which is another title match. It is the Scourge Championship title match. Your champion, Andromeda, has been challenged by none other than Angelica Malice. We're going to move in next with a tag team match. Dak Mandu, the man from Shigorganese, will be teaming up with the Midnight Hobo. And they'll be taking on Tyler Graft and the man known simply as Abyss. From there we move on. The Leviathan. Yes, he will debut, but he said he wants this message directed at one known as Cages. Watch and learn, for this is what's coming for your soul on December 2nd. And he'll be taking on, in a handicap match, Alexander Blade and Richie Vaughn Jr. And then we're going to move on to a submission match. It is Ken Caliban taking on Jeff Haight. We're going to follow that up with some women's action, tag team action, by the way. Angelita Utaker and Trinity Nightwalker will be taking on Hot Cheese and Amethyst Rain. And then we will have our main event of the evening. Yes, a triple threat match. The winner will move on to challenge the Warrior Way champion. Deacon Cross will be battling the likes of Torment O'Connelly and Joshua Clark. That is going down tomorrow sometime. But let's move on to what we're all here for. The results, the review of NXT. Yes, WWE, in my books, best show they've got going at the moment. So, let me open my notes here and get a good look. So, We started off with an excellent tag team match, and if you guys haven't seen these tag teams as of yet, you are missing out. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, in my eyes, one of the best tag teams going right now, and there is a big reason for that. Now, I'm not going to say there isn't other great tag teams, because there are. You got to factor in Heavy Machinery and War Raiders. But when it comes to styles meshing completely and fusing together and making a team seem as one, you gotta look at a team like Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Man, these guys look like they've been tag teaming for a while, and I remember when these two were battling it out with each other in NXT. Great matches between the two in singles, but they made a fucking tag team. They went up against a team known as the Mighty. So, we'll go into the match, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and move from there. So, Burch starts off on Thorne with an arm wringer. Lorcan and Burch take turns working over Thorne's arm. Thorne tries to rip off Lorcan's ear. Lorcan lands a dropkick. O'Connor roll by Lorcan. Miller kicks out, and Lorcan locks Miller in a half crab. Thorne tries to break it up, but Burch cuts Thorne off and locks him in the crossface. Miller gets to the rope to break the hold. Miller drives Lorcan into the Mighty's corner. The Mighty take turns working over Lorcan. Lorcan manages to tag in Burch, who takes out both members of the Mighty. Second rope dropkick by Burch. Burch and Lorcan set up for their finisher, but Miller breaks it up. Now, Thorne European uppercuts Lorcan. Lorcan responds with his own uppercut. Lorcan then hits the ropes, but runs headfirst into a sick dropkick by Thorne. Half Nelson suplex by Lorcan. Thorne falls to the outside. Lorcan dives over the top rope onto everyone. Miller and Thorne toss Lorcan into Burch. Lorcan rolls up Miller for the win. And the winners of this match, it is Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now, after the match, there was a big beatdown between Mighty, beating the fucking shit out of Burch and Lorcan. And it made a perfect heel kind of ending for this match. And I do want to apologize. No, they don't want my attention. The sad fact is, the German Shepherd's in heat. So, I've got a very puny little male dog that wants some. But moving on. A great match. It told a great story in the match. I haven't caught any NXT before this, except for a little bit of War Games, which I so desperately regret missing that show. But everything worked picture perfect in this match. It all looked good. You got Oney Lorcan. You've got Burch. These guys, like I said, make tag team wrestling look great. They make it look easy. The Mighty, they look good as well. Okay? No shitting on them at all. But tonight was the night for Oney Lorcan and Burch. And that would be Danny Burch. So, we move on from there. They show a little package of EC3 getting beaten down by Bobby Fish. And it moves into this next match. EC3 versus Marcel Bartel. And I gotta say, I love both these guys. I've seen EC3 back in TNA. He looked good then. And now that he's back in NXT, promising indeed. Now, EC3 and Bartel lock up. Neither can gain an advantage. EC3 locks in a side headlock. He then backs Bartel into the corner. Bartel surprises EC3 with a step-up enziguri. Bartel traps EC3 in the ropes. Bartel lands a missile dropkick. Spinning brainbuster by Bartel. EC3 with a kickout. Follows that up, fires up, and hits a body slam. EC3 elbow drop by, yes, EC3. EC3 drops Bartel with the 1% percenter for the win. And it was a great match. Now, my notes are short, but it was an excellent match. It was an excellent way for EC3 to return after his injury, after the attack from Bobby Fish. He actually cut a promo afterwards, and he told all of Undisputed Era he doesn't have a problem with them. He only has one problem with one man, and he called Bobby Fischer out. So, that feud going to continue now that EC3 is back from injury. I think it's going to be a fantastic feud because you look at what Bobby Fish can do in that ring, you look at what EC3 can do in that ring, it makes sense. And it makes sense is that EC3 isn't just hot-shotted right to the top. He's got to work for it. I like it. By the way, the match between him and Bartel, I've never seen Bartel in a match before. He looked great. This entire show looked pretty damn good. Now, Maya Yim versus Vanessa Bourne. I gotta say, I think both women look hot. But Maya or Mia, whatever she goes by, she looks great in the ring. Vanessa Bourne, she threw it down, man. She looked like a slugger in there. So Bourne mushes Yim in the face. Yim takes down Bourne with an arm drag. Bourne slams Yim. Yim double legs Bourne. Bourne then tries to crawl away while the referee is distracted. Bourne pokes, Bourne pokes Yim in the eyes. For some reason I put Bourne pokes Bourne in the eye. Blah. Bourne reverse Bronco Busters Yim, then wraps her legs up and Yim's neck and chokes her. Rolling suplex with a float over for a near fall by Bourne. Yim kicks out. Bourne rears back for a slap, but as soon as Bourne swings, Yim traps Bourne's arm and locks in a cross arm breaker. Bourne escapes. Yim puts Bourne in the tarantula. Yim then levels Bourne with a dropkick. Destroys Bourne with a soul food for the win. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match, Maya Yim. Like I said, another good match. You know, how many times did we get a good match on Monday Night Raw and on Smackdown? I remember one match from Raw, and that was Ziggler taking on Seth Rollins. Like, come on. That's 3 hours of wrestling, and we barely got any wrestling. And what we did get, we got one match that I can actually remember. The rest of them, I can't fucking remember shit. You know, I remember the SmackDown Battle Royal between the women. Why? Well, because it was the last match on the card, and they hot-shotted the whole fucking thing. Didn't give the women much time. So we go from there to a backstage segment with Tommaso Ciampa basically gloating about still being the NXT champion. You know, the guy's great on the mic. The guy is a perfect heel. I'm glad they let him go heel instead of being the whole DIY thing with Johnny. You know, the guy, even in the indies, he played a fantastic and brilliant heel, and I like seeing this psychotic motherfucker back where he belongs. Main event time, we get two big motherfuckers. One man, they have dubbed him the Leviathan. I call him a fucking caveman. That is Lars Sullivan. And we've been seeing all the promo packages of him lately all over the main roster. And his opponent tonight, a man that stands just as tall and packs just as much power, he is Keith Lee. The guy, I love both of them, okay? One, you've got that monster. The other one, you got that fun-loving giant, okay? But both of them, wow. I have never seen a man fly the way Keith Lee does at his size. Remarkable and beautiful. So, Lee and Sullivan take turns pushing each other back and forth. Sullivan laughs. Sullivan then charges into Lee. Lee doesn't hardly budge. Lee tries a leapfrog, but gets caught by Sullivan in mid-air. He then drives him into the corner. Lee fights out of the corner, and Sullivan runs over Lee. Sullivan tries a slam, but Lee escapes. Lee then blasts Sullivan with a sick crossbody. And Sullivan kicks out at 1. Very impressive with that much weight colliding right on your midsection. Wow. Lee tries a slingshot, but Sullivan catches Lee with a knee as he sails through the air. Sullivan spears Lee in the corner. And then Sullivan with the atomic bombs, and Lee kicks out at 1. We get a basement clothesline by Sullivan. Sullivan then hits a middle rope diving headbutt. Lee kicks out again. Sullivan lays in a few crossface strikes before putting Lee in a rear chinlock. Lee then drives Sullivan into the corner to break the hold. Sullivan grabs Lee and locks the hold back in. Lee escapes yet again. Sullivan clotheslines Lee in the corner. Lee dodges Sullivan's corner spear attempts. Sullivan eats the turnbuckle. Lee then fires back with strike after strike. He then gets a near fall after a slingshot crossbody block. Sullivan and Lee trade punches. Lee levels Sullivan with a double chop. Sullivan fires back with a clothesline, and then Lee sends Sullivan flying across the ring with a pounce. Sullivan falls to the outside. Lee takes Sullivan out with a slingshot corkscrew splash to the outside. Yes, the big man flew over the top rope with a slingshot. It was beautiful. Sullivan kicks out. Lee misses his moonsault, and Sullivan hits the freak accident for the win. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the new monster that's heading to the main roster, Lars Sullivan, the Leviathan, took the win. It was an outstanding show. I loved it. Okay? No, it wasn't spectacular or great. It was, it was better than what we've been getting from Raw and Smackdown this week, and that's what I love. NXT always delivering, and that's what Smackdown and Raw should be aiming for as well, and they're not. They're not delivering. NXT, the place to be. It doesn't matter if you're a wrestler or a fan. That is the show to watch. You know, if I wanted to, that's all I'd watch from them. And possibly, that's all I might tune into from now on, because I'm getting my fix for what I need. But I know there's going to be something I miss on WWE, Raw, or SmackDown that I'm going to say, fucking hell, again, I missed something good. But that's few and far between. Now, like I said, this entire show, everything made sense. Everything had a reason, and everything looked good. And that is what I want to see from my wrestling. That is what I want to see from the WWE product in general. You know, that's not just NXT. That's WWE, SmackDown, and Raw. You know, this is what they should be doing with their shows. And I don't understand, when these guys are brought up to the main roster, why they are just shat all upon. You look at the style, the class, the skills of guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Finn Balor. The list goes on, and it's despicable. Ladies and gentlemen, this was my NXT review. I say, from a pissed off Viking to a happy man, I was a happy man tonight. Now, there are other levels of happiness when it comes to wrestling, but tonight, I'm a happy man. And that's what counts. And I hope you guys have checked out NXT. And if you are watching this review, make sure, if you are a new subscriber, you hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed my point of view, or even just enjoyed the time with me, hit that thumbs up. And don't forget, make sure that bell's clicked for notifications. I'll be back tomorrow with my 2K19 edition of Renegade Wrestling Organization. Like I said, we're going to have a whole entire match card. It might have an intermission. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Have a better tomorrow. I am out of here.